I'm Dan Galusha, and welcome to another edition of Dan's Fishing Tales. Today we're going to be talking about a new jig head. It's actually called a swimbait jig head, but I don't know. I think some of the swimbaits, the hook's going to be a little bit small for it, and we're going to rig some of the stuff that I'm talking about to show you. It's put out by PBWild. And here it is. It comes in a box, just like this. There are 30 of them in a box. I'll put the link, in fact I'll put it upside down, there it goes. I'll put the link down in the description where you can check them out on Amazon. And there are 3 bags in each one. There's 3 sizes. There's the 1/8 ounce, which is the largest, and that has a 1/0 hook. There's the 3/32 ounce, and that has a number 2 hook, and there's a 1/16 ounce, and that has a number 4 hook. Now that number 4 hook, I'm not sure which one I'm going to use that with. And I'll show you on the head first, so that you know what I'm talking about. Now, this is a swivel type head, and you notice it has 3-dimensional eyes. I don't know if you can see that or not. But if that was on the bottom like that, and they're supposed to be rigged so that they're weedless, but if it was on the bottom and you had a worm or whatever and it floats, it would float up like that. This happens to be the 1/8 ounce with the 1/0 hook. Now, what I am going to do is I'm going to try finger jigging with them. But, and I think that they're going to work well for weedless. It's got a wide gap hook, the Kale type style. That I like, because you know how I like the Pro X hooks that the TTI Blakemore has. They're fantastic, but they're not weighted. Those are a separate hook, and those are different, but that's a wide gap hook. But these, I have no idea what brand hook, but they are very sharp. That's one good thing, they're sharp. But like I said, with the finger jigging, maybe that'll even give it more bounce. But what I think that they're going to work good for are like finesse worm fishing, such as the natural forage bait R4 worm, or the bee fishing ringworm. Those are 4-inch worms. But the ringworm has got a little bit, of course, thicker body because it's got the rings, and that's where this 1/0 hook would be. But I think that the number 2 hook, which is this one, this is the 3/32 ounce head, and you can see it is smaller. This might work for the like 4-inch worms. We're going to try that. We're going to rig one and see here what it's like. Now these are the ones with the number in here. Got them in the wrong spot. In here, these are the ones with a small number 4 hook that you might be able to see. Those are small. I'm not sure what I'm going to use those for yet. That's definitely going to be ultra finesse fishing. But now let's get out a worm, and we'll get out a R4 worm. There's also a new company called QC Lureworks, and they've got some interesting ones too. There's a fidget minnow. There's one that's called a puddle thumper. It's a 3-inch puddle thumper. Now that might work well with that 1/0 hook. They're a little thicker body. That's the thing. The thicker body ones are the, you're going to have to make sure that they're not too thick for these. Now here, let's try this hook here. This is the number 2 hook, and we'll see just how that looks. We'll bring it down, break it out like that, and this might actually be quite beneficial on it. Bring it through. That other little gadget there kind of throws it off. There we go. Now let's see, we'll bring it up, we'll break it out here. It is a sharp hook. Okay, that's how the number 2 looks on here. And that might not be too bad. You're going to have a lot of plastic though in here. And I have broken it out on the outside, and I skin hooked that so that it will stick though. As you can see, it'll stick to my finger. Oop, dropped it. Anyhow, it will come out and stick. And it's very, I don't know, maybe here you can see the hook where I skin hooked it, and then I can rub my hand like that so it's perfectly weedless. Well, I finger jig worms sometimes, and this might just add enough action like this back and forth, and it will let it float upward. That might work pretty good. But that 1/0, this 1/0 one, that one is definitely going to work. I would say after rigging that one, if you're going to rig one of those bee fishing ringworms, I would go with 1/0 without a doubt, because this hook just is not enough. That number 2 hook. And that number 4 hook definitely would not be. But this one, now let's try rigging it with what they call a drop shad. And I got a feeling that might be not too bad. Let's see, I got a drop shad here. Here we go. This is a drop shad right here. It's a natural forage bait drop shad. There we go. You can see the body of it is narrow. It is like a swim bait. So this might be a perfect type of a thing on it. You want to make sure that you rig it the right way so that the head will, there we go, put it in that deep, bring it out here, we'll move it down and around, come through the belly of it. There we go, got the head, push that forward, push it through, skin hook it, we did before, and there you go. Yeah, that matches pretty good. And that's that natural forage bait drop shad. Also the little killer, which is quite similar to this, but just a little bit larger. But the body isn't all that much larger otherwise. But one that size, that would match up perfect. And if you had a smaller swim bait like that with the tail, then yes, you could use it for the swim bait. But those other two, you're going to have to find a real small one. But they're good for finesse style fishing. The smaller the baits, you know, and you're looking for something, the Texas rig and be weedless, these PBWild Swimbait heads just might be the trick. And as I said, with it like that, it comes down because it's got that flat surface, and I don't know if you can see here or not, but you can see that it lays right there on the ground, and if that floats upward, that would be just like that. And that would be perfect to tease some fish in the striking. Or again, I'm going to try this one without a doubt, because I have finger jigged this on regular H2O heads, and it's worked very, very well for finger jigging. And this, well, we're just going to experiment with it and see it. Anyway, I wanted to bring this new bait up to your attention, so that you can see, and I will put in the description a link to them, and just in case you're interested in buying some. Like I said, there's 30 in a box, and they're PBWild. That's how new they are to me. I can't even remember what the name is. They're PBWild, and it looks just like that. That's what the box looks like. And it's got a nice little fastener, a good box to keep them in actually. And these things are, I don't know if I mentioned it, but the bags are marked with the size and the size of the hook, which is also nice to have, because you can find something a lot quicker that way. Anyway, until next time, get out on the water and enjoy a great day of fishing.